Welcome to the Fit Factor podcast, where we discuss health and fitness for those who may have mistakenly thought that their best, healthiest days were behind them. That's about to change. Welcome to the Fit Factor. It's good to have you today. Excited to get into this conversation and this topic today because we are going to talk about some strength training and some weightlifting, and pretty excited about it. So I love talking strength training. The more I train people and the more I work out myself and the more I see the benefits in my personal life and in the lives of the people that I work with, the more I get excited about strength training. And I'm just like bang the drum of the importance of strength training for like 100% of adults on the planet. So we're going to talk a little bit about strength training today. And before we get going, I just want to mention one thing real quick. If you would, please, it would be a huge favor for me. If you would swing by the Apple iPod platform, did I say iPod? Podcast platform. Man, where am I? In 1999, 2005? What is this? The podcast platform. And just do a review of my podcast. That would be so helpful and so appreciated. I would love it. I would be so appreciative if you guys would do some reviews of my podcast for me. Hopefully 5-star reviews. But if you don't mind swinging over there and leaving a review, that would be awesome. So let's jump into today's topic. This kind of got spurred on by a couple of social media posts this week that I saw. And I had already kind of been kicking around some ideas of what I wanted to talk about this week. And these particular posts that I saw on social media were just kind of like confirmation. When I saw them, I was like, okay, I've been thinking about talking about this already. And then I saw these two posts, there was one particular one that kind of got my wheels spinning. It was a Facebook friend of mine, and he's been on a bit of a weight loss journey. Don't know how he's doing it. Not involved with it at all. In fact, when I say Facebook friend, it's really one of those more, typical Facebook friends type relationships. It's a guy I know. We interact from time to time on Facebook. Never met him in person. Certainly don't have a relationship with him, but you know how that is with Facebook friends. So we're friends on Facebook, and he made a post earlier this week, and it said something along the lines of, I've lost 35 pounds, doing great. I've changed my nutrition. People keep suggesting that I get a membership to a gym and that I start working out, but that's really not the way that I want to go about this. I want to do it all through nutrition, and I'm not really the kind of person that likes to go to the gym. And I'm not quoting that exactly, but that was kind of the essence of his post. And so that kind of got me thinking a little bit. I was like, okay, how should I respond here? I just responded. I just encouraged him. Basically just said, hey, man, you're way ahead of the game. You're doing what so many other people need to do. Just keep crushing your journey. And I just kind of left it at that. I just want to encourage him. I didn't want to come at him with, how he was wrong or what I personally thought about his take on that. So I just encouraged him and kind of moved on with it. But it kind of got my wheels spinning. And then I saw another post a couple of days later from somebody that I follow on Twitter that had something along the line, had something to do with his mom changing her nutrition, trying to get healthy. And she asked someone at her gym, she got a membership to a gym, and she asked somebody who'd worked at the gym, as best I could tell from this tweet, it was a trainer at the gym. She specifically said to this person at the gym, I'm losing weight, but I got a body scan done. And I've noticed that I'm losing a lot of lean muscle. I'm losing a lot of muscle mass. What can I do to correct that? And the suggestion from this person that worked at this gym was you need to eat more whole grains. And I just thought, really? Is that the level of expertise we have in the local gym where this lady lives? We're going to recommend whole grains. So both of those social media posts just got me thinking, you know what? This is a great topic. This is a great thing to talk about because obviously if grandma was asking questions, she needs to know. And so if grandma doesn't know, then by God, there's probably somebody that I know who doesn't know either. And hopefully they'll get a hold of this podcast and they can learn a little bit. So we're going to talk about the top benefits, some of the top benefits of strength training. There are a lot. So I've kind of whittled it down to kind of a top 5 of the best, like top benefits in my mind, things that I've personally experienced and things that I've noticed and things that I've found to be truth. So we're going to jump in. These are in no particular order, but we're going to talk about the top 5 benefits of strength training, of weightlifting. Okay. No particular order in terms of what I believe to be the best or the lowest or ranked higher than the other, but we're going to start with number 1. And the first benefit of strength training / weightlifting is this: lifting makes you happier. That's right. Lifting weights makes you happier. Now, if you're already a very happy person, happier just takes you up the scale a bit. If you're not generally a very happy person, then this is definitely something that you might want to listen to, because researchers from the University of Alabama, all right, roll tide, researchers from the University of Alabama found that men, specifically men, who performed 3 weightlifting workouts per week significantly improved their measures of calmness and overall mood over a 6-month time frame. So they took a group of men, they put them in a weightlifting program where they lifted 3 times per week, and they found over a 6-month period that it improved their calmness. All right. If they were more calm, they must have obviously been kind of stressed before. So it reduced their stress and their moods changed in a positive way. They became more calm and they were in an overall better mood over a 6-month period just from lifting weights 3 times a week. So making you happier, although that I threw the word happier in there, truth be known, the endorphins that get released whenever we are exercising, especially when it comes to weightlifting, endorphins, these are kind of our feel-good chemicals. So you've heard the term runner's high before. Runner's high is the endorphins, the sensation of joy and of elation and all of the good positive vibes that you're feeling at the end of a workout. These are the endorphins that you hear people talking about, and these are released to ease your body during the physical strain of weightlifting. So your body actually releases these endorphins as a means of coping with the amount of strain that you're putting on the body. So you can intentionally release these endorphins that are going to calm you. They're going to reduce your stress. They're going to put you in a better mood. They're going to make you happier. All right. Duke University. All right. Go Blue Devils. Right. Coach K, Duke University, they found that 60% of people suffering from depression could overcome depression with 4 strength training sessions per week rather than antidepressants. 4 strength training sessions per week could help 60% of people suffering from depression to be able to overcome that without the use of pharmaceuticals. Strength training lowers depression. You've also many times, I mean, if you're anxious, if you struggle with having anxiety from time to time, try going into the gym while you're anxious, lifting weights, and put in a good hard workout. And you let me know at the end of a 30, 45 minute, 60-minute session of lifting weights, what that does to your anxiety. I will dadgum guarantee you that during that session, it is going to make a radical difference in your levels of anxiety. There's something about lifting weights that and it's those endorphins. It's what your body is designed to create to help you overcome those feelings of anxiety and depression, and it calms your stress and it makes you happier. All the things we've talked about. So strength training, lifting weights makes you happier, full stop. And there's even, I don't know if you've ever heard of this lady before, but I'm going to introduce you to her, and you can go look her up yourself. You can actually search her out on Google. But I heard her on a podcast about, if I had to guess, it was maybe 9 months ago. I heard her on a podcast. Her name is Kelly McGonigal. Kelly McGonigal. And she was talking about what she referred to as hope molecules. Hope molecules. And what she was referring to was some science and some research that had been done, and some scientists had labeled these proteins that get secreted from our muscles during strength training. They referred to them as hope molecules. So somewhere inside of our muscles, when we strength train and when we contract muscles during strength training, we actually secrete, we squeeze out, we force out these proteins that get into our blood system or our circulatory system, and it begins to help minimize, again, going back to what we talked about a minute ago, minimizing depression, minimizing anxiety, lowering your stress levels, making you happier. They literally termed these proteins hope molecules, and they only get secreted when we flex muscles, when we contract muscles. So just think about this. This is the easiest thing to visualize: a bicep curl, flexing your bicep during a bicep curl. Every time you do that, you are squeezing out, you're forcing out these hope molecules, so we can literally flex ourselves happier. All right. So fellas, when you're standing in front of the mirror, make sure your wife's watching. When you're standing in front of the mirror, I want you flexing in the mirror. And when she says something crazy to you, just tell her, hey, I'm squeezing out my hope molecules. I'm lowering my stress. I'm going to be happier. I'm going to be a better husband. Let me flex. All right. So boys, gentlemen, get in front of the mirror and flex it out. Get to the gym and seriously flex it out. So number one on our benefits of strength training, it makes you happier. Hey, let me jump in here right quick and just say a word for my company, It Factor Coaching. I'm a certified health coach, certified nutrition coach, and a certified personal trainer. And I pretty much wake up every day with the goal of helping middle-aged and senior adults win in their health. Far too many people are not winning in their health. And maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need somebody to guide you and give you some expertise that you might not be able to do on your own. And that's me. That's what I'd love to do, is help you out. So just head over to my website if you'd like to get connected. It is www.itfactorcoaching.health. That's itfactorcoaching.health. I'd love to connect with you. You can find my social media links there. You can fill out a very brief little questionnaire just so we can get connected and we can get the process started. But I'd love to help you out, or someone you know and love, if they're looking to win in their health. Together, we can get this done. Number two on our benefits is this: if you are trying to lose weight, if you are trying to shed your body, rid your body of fat, weight loss is actually easier when you're lifting weights and when you're strength training. There was a study done from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning, and it found that incorporating at least 2 days, and we've talked about 3 days from one study, 4 days from another study. Now they found that incorporating at least 2 days of strength training for everyone, all right, every one of the days that you do cardio, if you'll do 2 days of strength training, you'll burn significantly more calories than if you just did steady state cardio. And we talked a couple of podcasts ago about lists and HIIT training. You can go check that out. It's got a lot more detail about cardio and heart rates and all these kind of things. But they found that if you will do 2 days of strength training for every 1 day of cardio, you'll burn significantly more calories than if you just were to do cardio alone. So many people think that cardio is the solution for weight loss. It's unbelievable. I was with a client today that was literally talking about sweating and doing cardio to try to lose weight. We had to have a come to Jesus conversation. But cardio is generally not going to be your best way of weight loss. Strength training is definitely going to help you. And again, go back to the podcast from the HIIT training and the list training. You're going to remember we talked about that post oxygen consumption, that calorie burn that comes after the workout when you do strength training versus doing steady state cardio. And you basically, once that exercise is done and your heart rate comes back down to normal, that calorie burn kind of stops, but you burn calories longer. That metabolism races longer after strength training. So number 2 on benefits of strength training is that weight loss is easier to accomplish if you'll incorporate strength training into your routine. All right. Number 3, this is fun. Ready for this? Weightlifting makes you smarter. Weightlifting makes you smarter. So exercise and weightlifting boosts hormones. There's a hormone called BDNF. It's referred to as BDNF. It stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF for short. And exercise, strength training specifically, stimulates neurogenesis of new brain cells. I remember as a kid hearing people say that, well, once your brain cells die, they never come back, they never increase. That's bull. That's not even true. I don't even know who came up with that. But you literally release BDNF into your bloodstream when you strength train. That stimulates neurogenesis and it forms new brain cells. All right. And according to the Georgia Institute of Technology, an intense strength training workout can actually boost the size of your hippocampus. Your hippocampus is where your memory center is. That's where all your memories are stored, is in your hippocampus. So strength training, it increases BDNF and it actually helps increase the size of the memory center of your brain. So you can get smarter and you can improve your memory through strength training. Awesome. Number 4 on our benefits of strength training. And this is one of my favorites because hits me right where I live. This is one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about my personal weightlifting and strength training journey is right here. But number 4 is this: strength training may lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and it can help people that already have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes with that condition and help them manage it better. And here's why. Our skeletal muscle, by increasing skeletal muscle, by building muscle through strength training, it helps increase our insulin sensitivity. And we have talked about this on other podcasts before. This is not new. But when you add muscle to your body, you basically give glucose more places to go to get processed. So you build skeletal muscle, you put on muscle mass, and it helps increase insulin sensitivity. And it also increases insulin receptor sites. And that allows you to be able to absorb and use blood glucose at a much higher rate than if you were not strength training and not building that muscle. And also, strength training reduces blood sugar levels by removing the glucose from the blood and sending it to those new muscle cells. All right. So as a result of building muscle, as a result of strength training, that greater muscle mass can help improve your overall management of your blood sugar. All right. And here's another thing that's pretty awesome. Strength training can reduce your risk of even developing type 2 diabetes. So if you're at risk, and let's just put it this way, if you have a BMI of over 30, you're at risk to some degree of developing some blood sugar problems. Insulin resistance is probably already beginning at a BMI of 30 or higher. And that domino effect with when that insulin resistance becomes an issue, that's the first domino to fall. And the next thing you know, you've got, blood sugar issues, and you're pre-diabetic, and you've got fatty liver, and then you're type 2 diabetes. There's all these things that come with just increased body fat. And so if you have a BMI of over 30, this is something that you really need to pay attention to. Strength training could really help minimize the risk that you have at developing type 2 diabetes. There was a study done that followed over 35,000 women. Over 35,000. This is a massive sampling of human beings. But they followed over 35,000 women for 10 years. And what they found over that long time span with that very large sample size is that they showed a 30% reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes among the women in that group that engaged in strength training compared to those that didn't. So 35,000 women over a 10-year period, they designated and kind of, segregated out the ones that did strength training and the ones that did not. And there was a 30% reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes in that group that strength trained. So I cannot bang this drum loud enough. I really can't. Strength training is such a phenomenal tool for attacking that type 2 diabetes demon, if you want to call it that, the monster of type 2. And it doesn't get nearly enough respect. We don't talk about it nearly enough. It gets swept under the rug, and it might be one of the biggest medical conditions we have to deal with in America. We just don't talk about it. But strength training can help minimize your risk of developing it. And if you have it, it can help reduce the impacts. And if you change your nutrition, if you change your lifestyle and you incorporate some strength training, you can completely reverse your type 2. I did it myself. I did it 4 years ago. Blood sugar still perfect, still rocking. And I did it through nutrition, exercise, strength training. So it definitely works. I'm sitting here, living, breathing example of the fact that this can happen. All right. And number 5, I said there was going to be the top 5. And here we go. Number 5. And this is really, really important. Strength training or weightlifting increases your bone strength, and it slows down or reverses even osteopenia. Osteopenia is just a big, long word for the weakening of bones. And it can be caused by numerous factors. It's not just old age. It could be caused by pharmaceuticals that you're on. It could be caused by being a smoker. There's numerous things that can cause your bones to weaken. But strength training is proven, and it happens really fast. It's been proven that strength training can help reverse osteopenia and prevent eventually osteoporosis. So what we know to be true is this: weight-bearing exercises, they put temporary stress on the bones, and that temporary stress on the bones sends a signal, sends a message to our bodies that says, build more bones, or not more bones, but strengthen the bones. Send bone building cells to these bones. They need to be stronger. That signal is basically telling those bones, hey, we need to get stronger because this individual is putting force on these bones, on us. If the bones were talking, they'd say us. And that's how we strengthen our bones. Okay. So you can actually strengthen your bones through strength training. And having strong bones, like I said, it reduces the risk of osteoporosis. That's a big problem for women. Obviously, it's not as much of a thing for men, but the statistics on anyone, men or women, that have osteoporosis and fall in old age and break, like let's just say break a hip, the statistics on those that do that and get put in the hospital and leave the hospital and live more than a year following that is scary. Scary. Your life expectancy, if you break a bone from brittle bones from osteoporosis and you go into the hospital, your odds of surviving that more than a year beyond that injury are extremely low. I don't remember the exact percentage, so I'm not going to spit it out and be wrong, but I've heard in numerous places a radically high percentage of people that don't make it a year after that injury. So it's incredibly important that we strengthen our bones, and strength training, weightlifting, putting weight-bearing exercises on our bodies can make a huge difference. So ladies, this is especially something for you to pay attention to. Okay. But the beauty of this is no matter what age you are, you could be 80 years old. And if you will incorporate a strength training program and begin overloading those bones with an amount of stress that sends that signal for your body to strengthen those bones and to send those bone building cells into the bone, you can literally at age 80, age 85, if you are breathing, if you are living, breathing, and blood is flowing through your veins, you can strengthen your bones through strength training. You don't have to be a young buck. You don't have to be 30 or 40 or 50 years old. You could literally at 90 years old create stronger bones by sending that signal to strengthen bones by putting the force from strength training, from weight-bearing exercises. Okay, so those are my top five. Those are my top five. Going back from the top, we're going to go number one, lifting makes you happier. Number two, lifting makes weight loss easier. Number three, lifting makes you smarter. Number four, lifting helps lower your risk of developing diabetes and even help reverse type 2 diabetes by building new lean muscle onto your body. And number five, bone strength, increasing bone strength. Huge benefit of strength training. So I've got one more. I could not pass up the opportunity to throw in a bonus. I'm throwing in a bonus benefit. The double B. Here we go. The bonus benefit. And this is coming from the Facebook post that I saw earlier this week that kind of got my wheels spinning on doing this particular podcast. Strength training while you're on a weight loss program is critically important for maintaining your lean muscle mass during weight loss. I'm going to say that again. Strength training while you're on a weight loss program is critical for maintaining the muscle that you have while you're losing weight. When you go on, especially if you go on like an extreme calorie restricted diet, if you lost 50 pounds, there's a really good chance that half of that could be muscle. I mean, that's frightening. We're already said to lose about 1% of our lean muscle mass every year, starting around age 35. So if you're a 40, 45-year-old man and you've already lost about 5 to 10% of your lean mass, and then you're 350 pounds and you go out and lose 100 pounds on an extremely low calorie diet and you're not strength training, there's a good chance you lost 30, 40, 50 pounds of lean mass in that weight loss. Every time you got on that scale and got excited because you saw it going down, if you knew how much of that was muscle, you wouldn't be as excited. Because when you lose lean muscle, basically you're slowing your metabolism down. And then when you hit your goal weight, you're now operating at a much lower metabolism, a much slower metabolism. You're burning fewer calories at rest than you were before you even started that diet, because you've lost all that lean mass. But if you'll strength train while you're on that diet, you are going to give yourself significantly, exponentially higher chances of maintaining it. Now, here's the nice part. If you don't want to go into the gym and strength train to build muscle, which takes a significant amount of volume and intensity, and you got to do a lot of things right to build muscle. There's a process. But maintaining muscle is so much easier than building muscle. If you were to go into a gym, you could get away with doing as little as probably 6 to 8 to maybe at the most 10 sets per muscle group per week to maintain what you have. So let's just, as an example, let's fall in the middle. Let's say 8. 8 reps per week to maintain your quads and your glutes and your hamstrings. Okay? 7 days in a week, you only need to do 8 sets. What if 2 days a week you did 4 sets per day? On Monday, you do 4 sets of squats. On Thursday or Friday, you do 4 sets of squats. At the end of the week, you've hit your target. We're not talking about an enormous amount of time here. 4 sets could be 10 minutes, 8 minutes. We're not talking about giving up hours of your day here. All right. Same thing with chest and triceps. Okay. Bench press is going to help us work our pecs and our tris and some of our front deltoids, our shoulders. Okay. 8 sets. On Monday, you do 4 sets of squats, and then you do 4 sets of bench press. And you do that again on Thursday. Boom. You got 8 sets on both of those big muscle groups. We're not talking about an enormous amount of time. And then on Tuesday and maybe Tuesday and Friday, you come in and you work your back and you work your biceps. You do your pull exercises. Maybe you do some hamstring work. We're not talking about an enormous amount of time here. 8 sets does not take long. And that's all it really takes for you to maintain muscle mass. As long as you're getting in, and this is like a little caveat, as long as you're getting in enough protein, and that's incredibly important too. If you're getting in enough protein with that diet, and we've talked about this before, we want to be going for at least like 0.7 grams of protein per pound of target body weight. So if you're 300 pounds, but you're trying to be 200 pounds, you want to get about 0.7 grams of protein to maintain your lean muscle during that cut, during that weight loss. So are we talking 150-ish, 145 grams of protein a day? So if you hit your target on your protein, you get your 8 reps in per muscle group from head to toe, especially your main muscle groups, your quads, your glutes, your pecs, your back, the big boys, then you're going to be able to maintain your lean mass during that weight loss. Now, your weight loss might be a little bit slower. You might not get on the scale and see 3 or 4 pounds a week because you're going to be really hard pressed to lose that much fat. But what do we really want here in the grand scheme of things? Do we want to lose weight really fast? Or do we want to lose weight properly so that when we hit our goal, our chances of maintaining that weight are much, much higher? I think the answer is pretty obvious. So make sure if you're on a diet, if you're on a significant calorie cut, trying to lose weight, make sure that you're getting in your strength training at least 8 sets per muscle group per week to maintain and then hit your protein targets. All right. So I hope that's helpful. I hope at least one of those things jumps out at you and says, oh man, that's pretty awesome. That's going to get me to the gym. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow and I'm going to lift. I hope that that's fired somebody up. And I'll just tell you right now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, I need to work out, but I don't know what to do. I don't know the first thing to do in a gym. Hit me up. Find me through the notes here. I've got my social media. I've got my website. I've got everything in the notes of this podcast. I do virtual training. I can set up programs for you and I can train you from wherever you are through a virtual platform. And it's awesome. You don't even have to you can be in Pakistan. You can be anywhere in the world and I can give you a program for training. I can tell you exactly how to handle your program. I can give you videos to every single exercise you could possibly need, to give you examples when you're in the gym, to show you how to do the exercises. It's amazing the things that we can do with technology these days. So I hope all this is helpful. And again, if I can help you in any way whatsoever, that's why I'm here. That's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to try to help people. I have been in a very dire straits with my health. A lot of you might have heard my story on other podcasts, but now my whole life is just about helping people that are where I was and kind of taking them by the hand and saying, hey, I've got you. Let's go. I can get you out of this. I know this. I know the route. I've been down this road. Follow me. And that's what we're here for. So you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much again for listening to my podcast today. And please don't forget to go leave a review so more people can find me and more people can hear what I'm sharing. So that's it. I am out of here. Peace.